Hello, this is School Farm again and the young apple trees we planted in February. It's a warm, sunny day. It's September the 4th. We meant to do this earlier in the year, but COVID and weather and other things got in the way. So here we are. First of all, I want to look at how we mulched the different trees. We did 5 different mulches, so we're going to look at each 5, see how the weeds have grown or not, and then look underneath the ones that have got Mypex or cardboard on to see whether the voles have been underneath. To look at the general growth of the trees and to make perhaps some suggestions about work in the summer that you could do and what we could have done. So here we can see that we put cardboard, which is largely disintegrated but not quite. You can see how dry it is. And then on the top we put a fairly decent layer of fresh wood chip. And you can see quite clearly that very few weeds, if any, have come within our allotted space. So I'm going to uncover this one and see if I can lift the cardboard and see what it's like underneath. So as you can see, the cardboard has largely disintegrated and there's absolutely no evidence of voles having dug in this at all, which surprises me in a way, but that's very good. So this is the second option we chose. As you can see quite clearly, we have Mypex down and then we've got a layer of wood chip underneath that. And again, it's been very, very effective against the weeds, no weeds. I've started to take the Mypex up to look underneath and just clear a bit more away. I'm looking for those telltale holes which the voles make. But again, we seem to be entirely vole free. So this one you can see is rather different. Here we just put the sods of earth that we'd taken out in the beginning. We turned them upside down and left them without any other coverings, and you can see how many weeds have grown inside, competing very obviously with the apple. This option we chose to do the sods upside down on top of some cardboard, and you can just see the cardboard is just about there. It's been partially successful in that this bit here and round the side isn't too bad, but of course the weeds have managed to start off and grow quite well in the rest of it. So that's a half and half success. This is the last one we did. We got no mulch at all. All we did was take the earth off, the grass off, and leave it completely. So round the back there's very little weeds, but then we've got these big thistles in the front. So again, it's a mixed picture on that one. This apple is Adam's pearmain. What we noticed about these when we planted them was how much growth there was low down. And you can see all these little side branches. And interestingly, this one has carried on. Even though we snipped them back to 2 or 3 buds, it's grown more at the bottom there than it has up here. This is the only bit that's really useful because eventually these will come off. What we could have done earlier in the summer, and what I'm going to do now anyway, just to show you, is to nip back some of these lower branches like that. This just discourages them from growing more. They probably won't grow more now anyway, but if you'd done this in July, you might have found that the top would grow a bit more and these bits a bit less. It doesn't always work, but we'll see. This one is Ashmead's Kernel. The colour is much better. The leaves are much darker. No damage to them at all. They look very, very healthy. And less growth down here Not too much growth up here, but that in the first year you wouldn't expect an awful lot, but that's a better leader than we had in the other one. Um, we found that all the Ashmead's kernel have done better in terms of looking healthier. It has been very dry, and we don't know whether it's because they're more drought resistant or the roots are stronger. So we'll have to continue to monitor and look at them and see how they develop next year. This is Kids Orange Red. Um, it doesn't look quite as vigorous as the Ashmead's kernel. The leaves aren't too bad. I think this yellowing is just the time of year. We have put on a little bit of growth at the top, and not too much underneath. I think possibly this one has suffered a bit from the dry weather, and we haven't been quite as good as we should have been about giving them a good soak from time to time. You may be wondering what the next job is for these apple trees. Well, we'll be coming back in February or thereabouts, and we will hope to show you what you do in terms of formative pruning for in the winter time. There'll be very little to do, but it's really important for the first few years to keep on top of them so that you get a good strong tree for the future.